Hello, good morning. Sharing some words, some thoughts of wisdom. Thank you in advance for your attention. Some words to be put on the table. A hologram. A hologram is reflecting a physical body, identical. When it comes to physical world or physiognomy, like mine, a hologram is identical, cannot change it. That's the hologram. When it comes to psychological aspect, the hologram could differ from the origin. When is that? In other words, when it comes to the behavior, when it comes to the person's attitude, person can show something in the behavior, but it doesn't exactly reflect his real personality. This is a psychological aspect. As I said, the holographic image cannot help but to give you exact origin, as you see it in the physical world, as you see it in the hologram. But when does a person give this holographic image, or the holographic image is reflected differently than his psychological aspect? In the world of simulacra, in the world of simulacrum, to simulate is to pretend to have something positive, or to be the Mr. Positive, which in reality I'm not. And to have something positive, actually I don't have that. To dissimulate is the opposite. I pretend not having something negative or being the person negative, and in reality I am. One is giving an absence with a fake presence, and the other one is giving a presence with a fake absence. Simulate, simulation, simulation, it gives a world of simulacrum. It's a kind of like, it sounds the same, it sounds like the same thing. When you say simulate and simulacra. When in fact it is as if you say, I give you a method. When I speak about the method, it's a method how to do it. There is still room for flexibility. But when I use the word the methodology, that's it. A method is in the objective external world, but still you still have room for your own interference. You interfere to do something. A methodology is touching your mind how to think. You have been programmed. It's not my topic. That's the methodology. When a person idealizes, this is what is the world. These holographic image in the world, why is that? Everybody has certain degree of this simulation. The only thing is, someone is sincere by getting back to the state of effacement, and someone no, keeps going. Effacement, getting back to the self-effacement, in other words, the process is individual. He recognizes by getting back, other no, which is the majority of people. When a holographic image doesn't reflect the origin, it gives the person the sense of deprivation. His effort subsequently will be how to maintain that image displayed in the world for admirers, displayed on the scene. He spent an effort to keep up with that image, to maintain that status. It gives him more insecurity. This is what's happening in the world. Now, displaying an image, first of all, is to me, as a self-admirer, and then there is an external admiration. There is a transmitter and there is a receptor. How come a world of simulacrum? It's not reality. But how does it survive? And it keeps going. It keeps going because the predisposed nature, first of all, it's inside me, that I accepted that. Then an external admiration, it's accepting that. It's like a demagogue. Demagogue is not a demagogue with an audience protagonists. That's why he is a demagogue. If there are among them those antagonists, he won't survive. As I said, there is a transmitter, there is a receptor, accepts it. We're going to leave this aside. That's a question mark. We're going to leave this aside and we go to history. God mentioned about Prophet Joseph. 2 individuals entered prison with him. Afterward, by seeing him, they realized this person is saint. They don't know what does it mean, a prophecy. He didn't say, but he is a saint. He tells them about the food before the food comes to them. He tells them what kind of food, what's going on in the outside world. They realized he was unique. What they did, they wanted to test him. They mentioned about dreams, that they had dreams, they dreamt about something, which actually they didn't. A lot of interpreters, they say they dreamt about this. Joseph, peace be upon him, before interpreting their dreams, he made a whole detour to speak about his ancestry, that he comes from a chain of prophecy. Jacob, Abraham, he went back far and he said, this is how we are. Getting back to them, he started interpreting their dreams. One among them, he told him that he was going to be crucified. There is an expression that does not exist in the Quran, but there is an expression after that. He says, it's too late. It's too late. One of them, they said, no, we did not. As I said, this is not mentioned there. No, we didn't. We wanted just to test you. He said, قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ الَّذِي فِيهِ تَسْتَفْتِيَانِ. And it happened exactly as he interpreted their dreams. That's weird. I said, the holographic image that doesn't have an origin in the world of simulacrum, it keeps going. It will survive for a certain time. It will come back to the person. Call this destiny, call this karma, call it whatever you want. But it takes a while. Here, it gets in collision. It collided with the truth, which is Joseph's mind. It reflected back to them. I know it's very hard to understand it, or it's not telepathy, whatever. That's what it is. He said it by the time he finished. Anyway, shortly after, one of them left the jail. He was freed. The other one was crucified. My topic in reality is about Jesus Christ. When God mentioned about Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, he said, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُم. He was neither crucified, neither killed nor crucified ولكن شبه لهم. The verb شبه is put in a passive voice. The infinitive of the verb is شبه, to liken to. To liken to. But when you put it in a passive voice, you say شبه, which is dubious to, from the word or doubtful to. Dubious, doubtful. Why God did not put it in the active voice? Why God didn't say, I made Jesus look like to them? If he had said it that way, the responsibility of perception would rely on God. Let me jump to another topic. Cain and Abel. They both gave a sacrifice. God put it in a passive voice. He said, it was accepted from one of them, and it was not accepted from the other. The matter of acceptance and non-acceptance relies entirely on their responsibility if God had said it. I accepted from one of them, and I did not accept from the other. We would say, that's God's choice. He did it. Since the responsibility or the fact of accepting, the matter of acceptance and non-acceptance relied entirely on them, that's why he said it in a passive voice. Each one of them is responsible for acceptance and non-acceptance. You give it to the Creator, he would welcome your gesture. A camel, bull, a calf, a lamb, a chicken, an egg, or a smile. If the gesture was not to Creator, was to someone else, in this case it was to the self, why you want God to give or to hand his hand? You understand what does it mean? I just changed the topic to make myself a little bit clear. It was doubtful to them. This doubt of perception, in other words, by seeing Jesus, he didn't say they crucified, they killed nobody. They crucified nobody. He said they neither killed him nor crucified him. There was someone. Well, everybody knows that for the Muslims, they know someone else. We understand that. But for Christians, some of them, they take it for a joke. I mean, I'm sorry to say it. When you tell them they know about Judas Iscariot. The traitor who, betrayed Jesus Christ. He was one of his disciples. This is according to the Gospel of Barnabas. Christians don't want to talk about it because the only Gospel that speaks about Jesus being the prophet of God. Peace be upon him. It doesn't mean that the Gospel is true, is authentic. Prophet ﷺ said, if you hear story from the people of the book, do not accept it, do not reject it. إذا جاءكم قول أهل الكتاب فلا تصدقوه ولا تكذبوه. But if you authenticize something, it's because it's under the Quran. But anyway, getting back to dubious to whom? These people's perception, why Jesus Christ, for some people they did not see Jesus, others they saw Jesus. Some other people they know he was a spirit of God. The image in the perception, in the perceived physiognomy, it was not stagnant image. Each one has his own perception. How come? Because the scene, the perception is not with the eyes. It's a conception with the mind. His entire life, from his birth, when he was in a cradle, he was directing people to God. Some people understood that, and when they were worshiping God, they inherited certain behavior. This behavior resulted with emotions that they became intrinsic. When I may say intrinsic, that's a part of the innate. The conception or the perception was according to their behavior. Others, no. They inherited. They were not like that. There is something that they were not sincere with Jesus. They inherit emotions, flowing emotions, superfluous emotions internally. They gave an image of a body. And this body was Judas Iscariot's. This is how Jesus say they saw it as Jesus Iscariot's. The image was flowing, was not stagnant image. Those oscillates other religious sects, Christians, from that time, other in the 2nd century, they were against. They said, can never be. They were against, even though they were from Egypt. They were not from that particular area. Does this event concern those people who are present physically over there, or it concerns everybody? Muslims, they accept this with faith. They accept this. They say, of course, they never touch him. God took him, and he will be the last, before the end of time, he will come back and establish God's kingdom on earth. His first mission is to break the cross. Christians, no. Christians are also groups, but most of what you see today in the world is Trinitarians. Unitarians were exterminated early age with the Muslims and the Jews because they believe in the oneness of God and Jesus was the messenger of God. The topic is not about the holographic image. The holographic image, if it's not representing the origin, it gives a wrong perception to the person. Only the sincere, we say in Arabic, in ikhlas. Al-ikhlas, you eliminate multiplicity for the sake of you want to do certain things. Talking about moral values, worshipping, doing. This person will feed the innate. Something will be resulted in his mind, in his psyche. He will see the truth as it is. Someone who is like dealing for other than God's sake, he will inherit, or other emotions will be resulted in his psyche. He will see holographic image that will give him a sense of tranquility momentarily, yet with insecurity because he feels deprivation. There are no lies over that. Same thing, it happened, last 2 words, Moses, peace be upon him, with the magicians. When the magicians threw their ropes and stakes on the ground, became snakes, appear to people. وَسَحَرُوا أَعْيُنَ النَّاسِ وَاسْتَرْهَبُوهُم وَجَاءُوا بِسِحْرٍ عَظِيمٍ. When God asked him to throw his cane, what struck the magicians is this, as follows. The stake became huge. Snake, it swallowed what they faked. It did not swallow the stakes and the ropes from the ground. They remain on the ground. It removed the second personality that was existing and the holographic image that was existing in every citizen, spectator over there. I don't know if you understand the link. I know you do. Thank you very much for your attention. May God bless you. I see you soon.